Welcome to another exciting criminology review session. Today, we are diving into criminal sociology with 10 essential questions and answers, set 6A, to test your knowledge and deepen your understanding. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss these key insights. Like, share, and subscribe for more criminology review content. Stay focused, stay motivated, and keep striving for success. This is Cesar Lombroso, guiding you on your journey to becoming a criminologist. Let's get started.
Follow justice and justice alone, so that you may live and possess the land the Lord your God is giving you. Deuteronomy 16:20. Welcome to our comprehensive review session. In this video, we'll be tackling a series of multiple choice test questions to help you prepare effectively for your upcoming exam. Stay focused, take notes, and let's work through each question together to strengthen your understanding and boost your confidence. Let's begin our review. Directions: read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given. Allege means: A. Assert or make an accusation. B. Remove from its position. C. Direct an act from doing. D. Intentional mutilation. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer: A. Assert or make an accusation. Allege is commonly used in legal, journalistic, and everyday contexts to mean to claim or assert something, especially without proof at the time. It often implies making an accusation or stating something that has not yet been proven. For example, the suspect is alleged to have committed the crime means the suspect is accused but not yet proven guilty. Explanation of other choices. B. Remove from its position. This refers to displace, dismiss, or oust, but it does not relate to the meaning of allege. Example: the manager was removed from his position. C. Direct an act from doing. This corresponds to prohibit or forbid. It means stopping or preventing an action, which is unrelated to allege. Example: the law directs an act from smoking in public places. D. Intentional mutilation. This relates to maiming or disfigurement, which means deliberately damaging or mutilating something or someone physically. It has no connection to the meaning of allege. Summary: allege means to assert or make an accusation without necessarily having proof, so A is the best and correct answer. The other options refer to completely different concepts unrelated to the meaning of allege. What do you call measures other than judicial proceedings used to deal with a young person alleged to have committed an offense? A. Rehabilitation. B. Alternative measures. C. Individual response against bad behavior. D. Extrajudicial proceedings. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer: D. Extrajudicial proceedings. Extrajudicial proceedings refer to processes or actions taken outside the formal judicial system to address a young person's offense. These measures are specifically designed to handle juvenile cases without going through the full court trial process. This can include mediation, counseling, or diversion programs aimed at resolving the matter without formal charges or court hearings. This term matches perfectly with the phrase measures other than judicial proceedings. Explanation of other choices. A. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is the process of helping offenders reform and reintegrate into society. It is a goal or outcome of certain programs, but it is not specifically the term for measures other than judicial proceedings. B. Alternative measures. Alternative measures are programs or sanctions used instead of traditional judicial processes. While very close in meaning to extrajudicial proceedings, the more formal and widely accepted legal term is extrajudicial proceedings when specifically referring to handling cases outside court. See individual response against bad behavior. This phrase is vague and not a formal term used in law or juvenile justice. Summary. The best and most precise legal term for measures used outside of court proceedings to handle juvenile offenses is extrajudicial proceedings, D. Alternative measures, B, is close but less formal or specific compared to D in legal context. Rehabilitation, A, is a process/result, not the name of the measures themselves. C is not a standard legal term. What do we call the psychological, emotional, and behavioral reactions and deficits of women victims and their inability to respond effectively to repeated physical and psychological violence? A. Woman menopausal syndrome. B. Battered woman syndrome. C. Violence against women. D. Mnachton rule. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, B. Battered woman syndrome. Battered woman syndrome, BWS, is a psychological condition that describes the effects of repeated physical and psychological abuse on women victims. It explains the emotional, behavioral, and psychological impact, including learned helplessness, trauma bonding, and an inability to effectively respond to or escape the violence due to fear, trauma, or diminished self-esteem. This syndrome is a recognized concept in psychology and law, often used to explain the victim's behavior in cases of domestic violence. Explanation of other choices. A. Woman menopausal syndrome. This refers to symptoms related to menopause, such as hormonal changes, hot flashes, and mood swings. It is unrelated to the effects of violence or abuse. See violence against women. This is a broad term describing acts of violence targeted at women but does not specifically refer to the psychological condition or syndrome resulting from such violence. D. Mnachton rule. This is a legal standard used to determine criminal insanity, focusing on whether a defendant knew right from wrong at the time of the crime. It is unrelated to the psychological effects on victims of abuse. Summary. Battered woman syndrome, B, precisely fits the description of psychological and emotional effects on women who endure repeated abuse, including their impaired ability to respond effectively. The other choices are unrelated or too broad/general. What is the theory that tumors and seizures have been associated with aggression and violent behavior? A. Brain lesion theory. B. Conspiracy theory. C. Neurotic mind theory. D. Dementia praecox. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, A. Brain lesion theory. Brain lesion theory proposes that damage or abnormalities in the brain such as tumors, injuries, or areas affected by seizures can cause changes in behavior, including aggression and violent tendencies. This theory is supported by medical and psychological studies showing that physical brain impairments can influence emotional regulation and impulse control. Specifically, lesions in certain brain areas, example the frontal lobe or limbic system, have been linked to increased aggression and violent behavior. Explanation of other choices. B. Conspiracy theory. This refers to unfounded or speculative explanations involving secret plots, which are unrelated to medical or psychological causes of aggression. C. Neurotic mind theory. This generally refers to behavior caused by anxiety, stress, or neurotic disorders but does not specifically link tumors or seizures to aggression. D. Dementia praecox. An old term for what is now called schizophrenia, a chronic mental disorder. It is not specifically related to brain lesions or seizures causing aggression. Summary. Brain lesion theory, A, directly links physical brain abnormalities like tumors and seizures to aggressive and violent behavior. The other choices do not describe this biological and neurological connection. A term used to describe a clinical condition in young children who have received non-accidental, inexcusable violence or injury, ranging from minimal to severe or fatal trauma, at the hand of an adult in a position of trust, generally a parent or guardian. A. Battered child syndrome. B. Incapacitated child syndrome. C. Abuse trauma syndrome. D. None of these. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, A. Battered child syndrome. Battered child syndrome is the well-established medical and psychological term describing the condition of children who have suffered non-accidental physical abuse, usually inflicted by a caregiver or someone in a position of trust like a parent or guardian. It includes a range of injuries from bruises and fractures to severe or fatal trauma. This term was first introduced by pediatrician Dr. C. Henry Kemp in 1962 and is widely recognized in clinical and legal contexts to identify and address child abuse. Explanation of other choices. B. Incapacitated child syndrome. This is not a commonly recognized clinical term related to child abuse or trauma. It might confuse with medical conditions where children are physically or mentally incapacitated but is unrelated to abuse. See abuse trauma syndrome. While this phrase could describe the psychological trauma resulting from abuse, it is not a formal clinical diagnosis or term like battered child syndrome. D. None of these. Since choice A is correct, this is not applicable. Summary. Battered child syndrome, A, is the specific, accepted clinical term for describing children subjected to repeated, deliberate abuse by trusted adults. The other choices are either incorrect or not standard clinical terms. When we say capital offense, it means A. A very serious crime, for which the death penalty is imposed. B. The highest penalty for selected offenses. C. Total punishment of offender by incarceration. D. All of the above. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, A. A very serious crime, for which the death penalty is imposed. A capital offense is legally defined as a crime punishable by death, capital punishment. The term specifically refers to the most serious offenses, such as murder or treason, that may lead to the death penalty under the law. This is the most precise and universally accepted definition of a capital offense. Explanation of other choices. B. The highest penalty for selected offenses. While capital offenses carry the highest penalty, the phrase highest penalty could also refer to life imprisonment or other maximum penalties, depending on jurisdiction. The defining feature of a capital offense is specifically the death penalty, not just the highest penalty in general. C. Total punishment of offender by incarceration. This describes imprisonment but does not capture the death penalty aspect, which is essential to a capital offense. D. All of the above. Because C is incorrect and B is too broad, all of the above cannot be correct. Summary. The most accurate and specific definition of a capital offense is A very serious crime punishable by death. B and C describe penalties that may apply in different contexts but do not define a capital offense specifically. Therefore, A is the best and correct choice. At trial, the authenticity of an item as evidence is crucial, whether it be a physical object like a bullet, a medical record, or a photograph. The item cannot be offered in court without a testimonial sponsor who can vouch for its unaltered authenticity to the court and the jury. To validate an item's unaltered authenticity, a record must be kept of each and every time the item changes hands. This refers to A. Records management. B. Presentation of evidence in court. C. Chain of custody. D. Laboratory analysis of items. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, C. Chain of custody. Chain of custody is the documented and unbroken transfer of evidence from the crime scene to the courtroom. It records each person who handled the evidence and every time the item changed hands, ensuring the evidence remains untampered, unaltered, and authentic. This process is vital for the evidence to be admissible and credible in court. Explanation of other choices. A. Records management. This generally refers to the systematic control of records and documents within an organization. It is a broader term and does not specifically describe the handling of evidence in a legal context. B. Presentation of evidence in court. This refers to the actual process of showing or submitting evidence during trial but does not encompass the detailed tracking and authentication of the evidence. D. Laboratory analysis of items. This is the scientific examination of evidence but does not involve tracking its transfer or authenticity chain. Summary. The process of maintaining a detailed log of evidence transfer to ensure authenticity is called chain of custody, C. Other options refer to related but distinct concepts. The negligent treatment or maltreatment of a child by a parent or caretaker under circumstances indicating harm or threatened harm to the child's health or welfare is known as A. Child abuse. B. Child neglect. C. Child dilemma. D. Child in conflict with the law. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, B. Child neglect. Child neglect specifically refers to the failure to provide for a child's basic needs or protection, which includes negligent treatment by a parent or caretaker. It implies omission, failing to act, which results in actual or potential harm to the child's health, safety, or welfare. Explanation of other choices. A. Child abuse. This term generally refers to the intentional physical, emotional, or sexual harm inflicted on a child. While neglect is a form of maltreatment, abuse usually connotes active harm rather than neglect. See child dilemma. This is not a standard legal or social work term related to child welfare or maltreatment. D. Child in conflict with the law. This refers to a child who is accused of or involved in violating laws, not a victim of neglect or abuse. Summary. Child neglect, B. best fits the description of negligent treatment causing harm or threatened harm? Child abuse, A, is related but implies active harm rather than neglect or omission. The exchange of sexual favors for money or other material goods without any emotional involvement involving a person under the age of 18 years is called A. Child prostitution. B. Child trafficking. C. Both A and B are correct. D. Both A and B are wrong. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, A. Child prostitution. Child prostitution refers specifically to the involvement of a person under 18 years old in exchanging sexual acts for money or goods, usually without emotional attachment. It highlights the commercial sexual exploitation aspect. Explanation of other choices. B. Child trafficking. Child trafficking involves the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of children for exploitation, which can include prostitution but also other forms such as forced labor, slavery, or servitude. It is a broader crime, not limited to prostitution alone. C. Both A and B are correct. While child prostitution can be a form of child trafficking, the question specifically describes the act of exchanging sexual favors for money without emotional involvement, which defines child prostitution more narrowly. D. Both A and B are wrong. This is incorrect because child prostitution is clearly the right term for the scenario described. Summary. The act described is specifically child prostitution. A. Child trafficking, B, is a broader term that includes other forms of exploitation beyond prostitution. An abuse that is kept secret for a purpose, concealed, or underhanded is called A. Clandestine abuse. B. Clinical abuse. C. Overt abuse. D. Abuse of authority. In the next 5 seconds, select the best response from the available options. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Best answer, A. Clandestine abuse. Clandestine abuse means abuse that is secretive, hidden, or deliberately concealed. The term clandestine specifically refers to something done in secret, especially for an illicit or improper purpose, which fits perfectly with the description given. Explanation of other choices. B. Clinical abuse. This term is not standard in abuse terminology. It might imply abuse occurring in clinical or medical settings but does not relate to secrecy. See overt abuse. Overt means open, obvious, or public. This is the opposite of secret or concealed abuse. D. Abuse of authority. This refers to misuse of power or position, not necessarily secret or concealed abuse. Summary. The correct term for secret or hidden abuse is clandestine abuse, A. Other options either do not fit or mean the opposite. I can do all things through Christ which strengthened me. Philippians 4:13. This verse emphasizes faith, perseverance, and reliance on God's strength in all aspects of life, including challenges in law, justice, and moral decision-making. It serves as a reminder that with Christ's guidance, we can overcome obstacles, pursue righteousness, and uphold justice with integrity. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. See you in the next video.